back to another video. Today we are going to see the dictionaries and how they work and what can we do with dictionaries. So we start, let me double check if we are recording here. Yes, okay. So let's start in here with dictionary. .py. Okay, what is a dictionary? A dictionary stores key value pairs. So the key is the name of the data and the value is the real data. Let's say it's key and value. We will see them now. For example, helmet, status, equal. Dictionaries are with curly braces. So we create a variable which is a dictionary, right? We create just a dictionary with the name of helmet status. And then we're gonna put everything that we want inside, so everything will be part of the dictionary. We start with a key called name, and the key called name will store a value called, for example, helmet mark 0. Okay, and then we want to keep adding key and values, so we just put a comma in there, go to the next line, and then we add another key called battery. For example, battery will store the value of 85. We keep adding more keys. Let's put another key called temperature, and temperature will store the value of true. And we add one more key, which is gonna be mode, and in mode we add the value of diagnostic. Now we close it. This is a dictionary. As you see here, the dictionary is called helmet status. We have key and value. It always comes in pairs, key and value. Name is the key and the value of the name is helmet mark 0. Battery is the key and the value of battery is 85. Same with temperature and same with mode. Now we can just print our first dictionary, and we can put print helmet status, right? And we print, and we see here in the print we see the name is helmet mark 0, comma, then we have a second key value pair which is battery 85 and temperature true, mode diagnostic. Okay, so this is basically just a dictionary, that simple. We can also do let's check the difference, for example, between list and dictionary, because we're gonna work with list and dictionaries inside of the list. So we just give like a review again. So for example, let's eliminate that. A list work well when the order matter. As we saw, the list is index 0, index 1, index 2 and 3 and go on. It always remains the same. But a dictionary works better when each value needs a clear name. For example, if I put sensor list, sensor list is gonna be a list of camera, then true, and then 31.2. Then we just close the list, and then we can say here print sensor list. But in sensor list I want to print the index 0 and then we do another one. For example, we say again, we call sensor list, and we call the number 2, and now we can say we can create a dictionary called sensor. Sensor is going to be a dictionary with a key name, which will store the value of camera. Then again we can do a key called active. It's gonna store the value of true. And last key, temperature, is gonna store the value of 31.2. Okay. And now here we can call print, and we say sensor, and in this case I want the key name, the value of the key name. This is how it will be like interpreted. And then print, same one, sensor. In this case, let's call a different one. Let's call temperature. Okay, and we can print that. Print sensor. Oh, okay, this one. Okay, now we can print it. No, not yet. Why? In the line 13, print sensor, temperature. What is the mistake in restarting? Okay, again another typo. Now it's all work, no? Okay. So we have camera and 31.2, which is from the first 2 prints, right? Here we have a list, and we call in the 0, in the list we remember it's 0, 1 and 2. So 0 is camera and 2 is 31.2. Okay, so in the list we just say print this index and print this index, but we don't know what this index is for. It has no meaning, it's just literally the positions. However, with the dictionary we say a print name and print the temperature. So by printing the name, we got the name that we got the value of the name, which is camera, and then we got the value of the temperature, which is 31.2. So in here, these two with the list, which is camera and 31.2, but within it has no meaning. But in here, camera and 31.2, because of the dictionary, we can have meaning. We can get the meaning of it, because the meaning is name and temperature. Here is just positions. So that's the difference between a list and the dictionary. In a list we can keep orders, like to maintain the order, because the order matters in the list. However, with the dictionary it's more if we want to print the meaning, because the list does not explain the meaning, but the dictionary, it explains the meaning, they give a meaning. So that's the difference between the list and the dictionary. And the definitions are more like in here. If we check it, it will be in English more, will be like the problem in that sensor list does not explain its meaning. Now look at the same example as dictionary, and if we check the same example with dictionary, we can check that, yeah, we print name and we got the name, and then we print the temperature and we got the temperature, because at least works well when the order matters, but the dictionary works better when each value needs a clear name. That's basically what we just explained it before. Okay, we got the difference between list and dictionaries. Now we are going to check reading values with square brackets. Okay, so we got the helmet. Helmet is going to be a dictionary. I'm gonna have the key battery, and key battery will store 85. Oops. Yeah. No, 85. Okay, another key temperature again. Temperature will store 36.5, 36.5, and we will have another key called mode. And mode will store the value of test. Okay. And now, as we said before, so this before, we can say print helmet battery, and then we can say print in helmet, which is not gonna work because again we put it with applications in there. Okay, now it is helmet, and we can call this one again, for example, mode. Okay, we just print battery. What is the problem here? It's in the line 2 here. Battery 85. Why is this one invalid syntax? Why? Go battery, which is we didn't create a dictionary, we created a list. Okay. Now we can print it. No, battery is still a problem. That was not a problem. Oh, okay. Now it's all work. Yes, so we have 85 and test. We just got the value of the key. So here is in the, basically this is saying find the dictionary helmet, and in the dictionary helmet give me the value of the key battery. And here's the same, find the dictionary helmet, and inside of the dictionary helmet on the key mode give me the value. Okay. One thing to see in here, for example, let's say that in here I want to be in helmet, in the dictionary helmet, find me the key microphone, right? There is no key microphone. So if we print this, it will give an error because we don't have a microphone key. A key assigned our microphone assigned as a key, right? There is no key value for this one, so we receive an error. But there is a way to try to get a key that is not in the dictionary without getting an error, without breaking the program. And it is with the get. Let's do it with the get. Let's say, okay, let's keep the sense, and let's say, for example, print helmet dot get, and now we call, for example, battery, right? Battery. Now remember, it's not with the square bracket because now we're using a function word from Python, and all of these function word that we explained before, they are all with parentheses. So now it's between parentheses. We open it and then we close the parentheses for the get, and we close the parentheses for the print, right? Something that we have seen before. Now we do another print, and now let's try to put a key that we don't have, like for example microphone, right? But in this case we can put get dot microphone dot get microphone, but then we're gonna put comma, we open another string and put not registered, and now we print. Let's see what it does. It gives us 85 and not registered. Basically, this is telling us, okay, go to the helmet dictionary and get me battery, get me the value of the key battery, which in this case is 85. And then the second one is say, go to helmet and get me microphone. But if there is no key microphone, then tell me that it's not registered. In this case, we knew the battery was inside, that's why we just put it. But we are not sure if microphone is inside, that's why we put otherwise, just give me it's not registered. Let's say that we do another print here in the middle, and we say print helmet dot get, and we have temperature, and we know because temperature we have it in here, right? So we're gonna put in here temperature, so we will see clearly. And then we are not sure if temperature is in there, so we're gonna put comma and then again not registered. And let's see, it gave us the value of battery, which is 85, the value of temperature, which is 36.5. Didn't say not registered, so this only indicates that the key doesn't exist on the dictionary. If the key doesn't exist in the dictionary, like microphone in this case, then it will add not registered. So if the key is not in there, the programs carry on, it doesn't break. So this get here is really helpful. Okay, more things to see. There is a lot to do with dictionaries. Let's create another dictionary and we're gonna modify the value. Let's create a dictionary called suit. And suit is gonna be a dictionary with a key battery with the value of 85 again, and then another key called mode with the value of test. Okay, we just close the dictionary, and now we say, I'm gonna put this on print so we can see the difference. Print suit. Okay, and now we can say in suit, I want battery, the key battery, to be equal to 70. And now I print again should. And we printed and we see battery has a value of 85 and the mode value test. And now we check here, battery has the value of 70 and mode test. So we just modify the value of battery. So with dictionaries you can modify the value. We can also add here ones, for example, keep this one and we can say let's add more. Let's put in should, for example, we open and we say temperature, right? And so temperature is going to be equal to 36.8. And now print should again. We have the first print, the second one, and the third one. In the first print is the normal dictionary. The second print with the 70 modified, we modified the value of the key battery. And then in the third one, we have all of them, but we also added temperature. So what will happen in this case, if the key already exists the value of the key will be modified. But if the key doesn't exist in the dictionary, then it will create a new key value, so it will add something, another key value to the dictionary. What else can we see? Yeah, let's take this one out, or we keep it. Let's keep it, but this, yeah, the temperature, let's take this one out so we don't have any print, but we want to keep the temperature, so we have 3 different key value pairs. And now let's say that we want to delete one, and we're going to delete using the pop. Remember that with the pop we can delete it, but then if we store the operation of removing it in a value, in a variable, then we can get what we deleted back. We did it before. So let's say that it's gonna be, I want to create a variable called remove mode, and then inside of remove mode is gonna be suit.pop, and then I want to remove the key mode, and now I say print should, and now we have in here the first one, which is the normal dictionary, right? The battery and mode. Then we have battery, mode, and temperature, because we added temperature in here. And now we have battery and temperature because we removed mode. So one thing that can be maybe a little bit confusing is that you see that we deleted the key, mode, key, and so also the value. If you delete the key, you delete the value. So we deleted mode, but mode is inside of a variable. So maybe it can be confused because you say, okay, but this operation, it's been stored in this variable, is not straight into the code. You can maybe start to think that, right? And it can be a little bit confusing, but the way that Python works is always from left to right. So it say, okay, so far here I have a variable, now what? Now Python read this. But because Python is reading this, Python will execute this. So it doesn't mean that it's gonna be just stored in here, and this code is not gonna be in the main code, because Python is reading this, it will be executed. So that's why now we can say here remove mode, print remove mode, and it will give us what it has been removed, which is test. But before the last print, that's why it is deleted anyway, because Python read it, Python executed, and Python deleted. Now you can just call to see what you have deleted or not, but anyway it has been removed. We can also check if a key value is, there is another way to check if it's in a dictionary. For example, we have, let's change this and put, for example, camera, and camera is gonna be true, and then this is gonna be called helmet. So we have a helmet, a dictionary called helmet, battery 85, camera true. Let me take this out, and now we say if camera in helmet print camera registered. So we have a helmet, a dictionary called helmet, battery 85, camera true. And now we say if camera in helmet print camera registered. So we have a helmet, a dictionary called helmet, battery 85, camera registered. And now we say if camera example, right, camera not registered. Okay, and now we can just print this, and we see camera registered. If camera is in helmet, which is here, right? Camera is in the dictionary of helmet, then print camera registered. So because camera is in helmet, then Python enters in the indentation, right? And then print this line. What about if we want to put something that is not in this case? Then we get camera not registered, right? Because we have the else, the program doesn't break. It say, okay, this in helmet, no, it's not. So I'm not gonna enter in that indentation. So because it's not, it just go back and say, okay, what else? What you want me to do? Okay, in this case, if it's not in helmet, then just print this line and go out with this line, go out of the code with this line, which is this one. Okay. Okay, so what if we wanted to do, because when we use this, when we use in dictionary, Python check the key, not the value. So if we want to get the key, the value of both of them, we have to do it different. So let's do, for example, let's put another one here. So we have 3 developers. Let's put temperature is gonna be store the value of 36.5. 36.5. Okay. And now we can say we do a for, and then we have to put because there is 3 different, right? We have like we have keys to get the key, then we have values to get the values, and then we have item, and item get both keys and values, and we can do the for loop with this in order to get either if you want to get the key, you want to get the value, or you want to get both of them. So let's say that we want to get the key, so we can say for key in, for example, for key in helmet dot keys print, we can say key, right? Print key, for example. Okay, and we try to print, and we get battery, camera, and separator, which is the 3 keys, right? Let's say that we only want the value. Okay, helmet dot values, and then print value. And we print, and we get 85, true, and 36.5. In this case, we are only getting the value. So this is basically saying, okay, in the for, in this variable, inside of the dictionary, give me the values, and then print this variable, which is here inside, give me put me the values of helmet, of the dictionary helmet, and then we print this variable which contain all the values in dictionary. This is more or less how we have to start to read the for loops in order to understand more complex program, right? So it's like a for loop is like basically in this variable, let's try to redirect this in this variable, I want to store all the values of helmet, and then we print. If we want to see the result, we have to print the variable with everything has been stored. Okay, we have seen both of them. Now let's do both of them at the same time. Let's do key and then value, and then instead of value we say that to get everything we have to put items, right? So helmet dot items, and then we can do this different now. We can do this maybe with already with the format. So we can say print, for example, key colon space and here value, and then we close it. Oops. Then we close it. Now we have the format. Okay, let's print it. Now we have battery, key value, we have camera true and temperature 36.5. So in this way you can get both of them, the key and the value. Okay, let's make dictionary with conditionals. Maybe we can do the same. Let's put okay, let's say if helmet with, for example, battery, if helmet battery is less than 30, print alert low battery. Okay, and now we can say else print sufficient battery. Okay, and now we print it and we got sufficient battery. Why? Okay, basically this is saying if in the dictionary the value of the key battery is less than 30, print low battery, but the value of the key battery is 85, so this is not true. That's why if this condition is not done, Python will not enter in this indentation, right? If this condition is not done, Python will say, okay, this is not done, then I go back and I go down, what else you want me to do? Okay, if this condition is not done, cannot be done, then I want you to print sufficient battery, which is here, sufficient battery. This is basically what we have seen already with lists, the sets, with the tables, but now we are doing it with dictionaries. So far it's the same. We can also do a nested dictionary. A nested dictionary is a dictionary inside another dictionary. It is useful, for example, for representing system with internal parts. Let's create a dictionary called suit, and then yeah, okay, and then we're gonna put the key energy, and the key energy is gonna have a value of another dictionary. It's gonna have the value of another dictionary, and inside of this dictionary we're gonna have a key called battery. This key called battery is gonna store the value of 85. Okay, now we're gonna add another key which is gonna be called consumption, and this is gonna store the value of 12. Okay, and now we want to keep adding more, so we put a comma, and then we say, okay, let's make another key called helmet, and in helmet I want to store another dictionary, and in this dictionary we're gonna have a key called camera. And camera is gonna store true. Let's do one more key, microphone, and microphone is gonna store the value of true. So, okay, and now we say okay, I want to create another one. Let's create another key called safety. And safety, we're gonna do the same. Safety is gonna have the value of another dictionary, and the dictionary we're gonna put mode, which is gonna hold it's gonna store the value of test. And one more key called alert, and alert is gonna store the value false. So we have one dictionary, but which is suit, and inside of suit we have more dictionaries. And then let's print. Let's make some print so we see what is gonna show us on the screen. So from the dictionary suit, I want in the dictionary energy, or in the key energy, I want the key battery. Let's make the print. Let's make 2 or 3 prints, and then we will see what it will give us. So again, print, and in print suit, and inside the suit give me the key helmet. We open again, and we say camera. Let's do the third dictionary. Let's say print again suit, and inside of the dictionary suit I want the key safety, and then I want mode. Okay, let's print these 3. So we have 85, true, and test. So okay, let's go to discover why we say print suit energy, and then in energy battery. So let's say from the dictionary suit go to the key energy, which is key energy. Key energy store another dictionary. So I say key energy, go to the key battery and give me the value of the key battery, and the value of the key battery is 85, right? So this basically gives me the value of energy, but the value of energy is a dictionary, it's a whole dictionary. So that's why the second in here, the second is say okay, now give me inside of this key, which is a dictionary. This is not really like a key, this is already here has been like, it's a dictionary, it's literally a dictionary. So this is in the dictionary suit, go to the dictionary energy and give me the value of battery, which is 85. Here it's saying the same. In the dictionary suit, go inside the dictionary helmet and give me the value of camera, which is true. And then the third one is saying go to the dictionary suit. In the dictionary suit, go to the dictionary safety and give me the value of mode, which is safety, mode, and then the value is test, which is nil. So this is dictionaries inside another dictionary. Okay. What else can we see? We can see a list of dictionaries. A list of dictionaries is used when we have several similar objects. Each object has several name values. Let's see. Let's say that we have sensors. And sensors is going to be a list. But inside of the list, we are going to make a dictionary. Okay, and the dictionary is going to store name, a key name, and the key name is going to store the value of, we're going to keep doing the same, the value of camera. Okay, then I want another key called active, and active is going to store the value of true. One last key, we can temperature, and temperature is going to store the value of 31.2. Okay, we finished the dictionary. Press comma, and let's create another dictionary. We're still inside of the list. Remember the list square brackets, right? And inside of the list we are making dictionaries, and dictionaries are with the curly braces. And we keep doing the same. In the second dictionary it's gonna be the same. It's gonna be the key name. But in key name now we're gonna store a different value, which could be motion sensors. Oops. Motion sensor. Okay. Oops. I'm gonna keep adding value there. Okay. Let's put another key called active. Let's do the same. And active is gonna store same one, true. Active, true. Okay, now it's working. Temperature, which is gonna be, gonna store the value 29.8, for example. And let's make one last dictionary inside of the list. If I can take it. Okay, let's do the same. Let's create a key called name. We're gonna store the value of different one, just distance sensor, for example, just to give it a different values to the same key. This is why the meaning of what we're doing now. So let's say distance sensor. Okay, now same one, active, but active now is gonna be false. Let's create a temperature, and temperature we're gonna give him the value of no, for example. Okay. That will be a list with dictionaries. It's a list, it is called a list of dictionaries. And now we say for sensor, in sensors, print sensor name. Okay, so basically this is saying the for loop in here, how it works with the list of dictionaries. It is for, in this case we'll iterate like for every dictionary in this dictionary, in this list, sorry, for every dictionary in this list, I want to print inside of the dictionary the value of name. Okay, so if we print this, we get camera, motion sensors, and distance sensors, which is the value of every key name. So we have the key name, the value camera, the key name, the value is motion sensors, and the key name, the value is distance sensors. So for every dictionary inside of this list of dictionaries, I want to print in the dictionary the value of name. So as it says in here, a list of dictionaries is used when we have several similar objects, or all of them are similar, right? And then each object has several name values. Okay, we can also, with the same example, we can do a different one. Let's say for censoring sensors, let's print. This is more like a sensor report. In this case, will be like a report of the dictionaries that are in the list. Okay, so for print, we can make a, and say sensor colon. We can space in here. We can. Okay, now let's say in sensor name, sensor name. In this case, we already have a string. So if we want to put with the print format strings inside of strings, we can also do these ones, which is single quotation marks. Right, we have the double quotation marks for the to make strings, these ones. But then if we want to add different quotation marks inside of this double quotation mark, we can just use the single one. So use to call this key, we can use a single quotation marks and say sensor name. Okay, and this will be, we have to add the format, and now you can see. Okay, print sensor. In this case it will be, let's take the different one. So we do, it will make sense now, we'll explain it now. We can say active will be sensor, and in sensor will be again call active, and we do the format. We print again, and now we go for the third dictionary, which is print for the third key, which is temperature. Okay, temperature. We can put sensor, and in sensor we want to call temperature. And now we add the format. Okay, let's do one more, because this one is the one that it's let's say in the screen, when it comes as an output, it looks like not only elegant but also organized. This is how you can, for example, arrange projects. Let's say after we finish with the dictionary, we will finish the basic Python course with the project. So after this video, the next video will be project, and we will use this line that I'm gonna do here right now, this one, just like this. This kind of print we will see quite often on projects, just because how it looks on the screen when the output is coming. It looks like very organized, very arranged. So it's basically just for the looks of the coding. Okay, what if we print this? Look what happens if we print this. We go sensor camera, active true, and the temperature is 31.2. Then we got this line. You see why I'm saying that it's like really organized, because for example we can see the difference between the three different iterations. So what happened exactly in here? Okay, let's explain it. As we said before, it means for every dictionary, in this list of dictionary, I want to do all of this. So basically Python read all of this. It generates right now with the dictionary. So it go for the first dictionary and do everything in here and everything in here. After it's done, it go back again for the second dictionary and do everything in here and everything in here. And after it's done, go back and do the last dictionary in here. Iterate 1, 2, and 3 times. So after finish with this one, it comes back trying to iterate 4 times, 5 times, infinite times, right? But there is only 3. So iterate 3 times, and then you say, okay, there is no more dictionaries. So you just go out, and finish the program. But what happened the first time? Okay, for dictionary, in this list of dictionaries, I want to print sensor. This is something that we just simply add. Okay, we just saw this already. What everything that is called between strings, string, it just stayed as it is, right? But now here in the sensor, I want the value of name. I want sensor and value of name. Okay, so we go sensor and the value of name, which is sensor camera. We don't have name camera, okay, because we say sensor is the value of and the value of name, which is camera. And then go to the second one, which is active and true. And it say, okay, in this case, active, sensor, active. And what is the value of active? The value of active is true. In this case, it's active true, and temperature 31.2. So let's say, and that's why it's a, so I'm not sure if I explained it really well, maybe it was a bit confused. What I wanted to say is, you see that the string in here is called sensor, right? That's why sensor comes just as it is in here with the sensor and the column. In here we say active with column, that's why you see active with a column in all of them. And here temperatures, but if we put in here, for example, this is not active, this is not sensor, it would make no sense, right? That's why we don't do it like this, but just to check, you see, we have exactly the same. This is not sensor, camera. This is not active, true. So what I wanted to say before is like, that's why in this game it's not appearing like it was like this. Sensor, it was like this, active, and if we print it, we get the same as we got before. Okay, you see it's active true and temperature 31.2. Active true and temperature 31.2, but it's not named camera because we didn't put name in here, we put sensor. Okay, name is not gonna give you never name because we are calling name here and ready, but it will never give you the key. It will give you the value, and the name of value is camera. If you want name in here, we just, if we want name in here, we see in here, we have to put it in, right? If we put here name, okay, then now we will give, we will obtain the name camera, active 2 and temperature 31.2. That was the first iteration, which is the first dictionary. It finished with the first dictionary and now goes for the iteration of the second dictionary, which are different values, right? name, for example, is motion sensor. You could have it in here. Active true, same as before, and the temperature also changed. Now it's 29.8, which is in here. And now it finished with the iteration on that one, and then go to iterate the third one, right? For dictionaries, in the list of dictionaries, do all this in here. And now we have the distance sensors as a name. Active in this case is false, and temperature is known. So this is just like a small little small project, you know, like a small program. Okay, let's do some content. So we don't even have to eliminate any from the list. We just created a list of dictionaries, and now we are gonna create a variable called active count, which is equal to 0. And now we say for sensor, in sensors, the same formula, right, as before. But in this case, if sensors, if this one, this variable in this case, right, this is more like a variable that will contain everything. So for every dictionary called like this, so we keep with this one. If this one, if sensor is the key active, is equal to true, then no, not print in this case, then we just call active count. It's gonna be equal to the same variable, active count, but plus 1. It's just a counter as we seen before in different exercises, right? And now we just make the print, and we say active, for example, sensors. With the format we can keep going like this. Okay. Active count, which is the variable that we want to show up. Okay, now we put the format. Okay, and now we can print, and we will receive in this case is true, active 2. In this case, this will just get 2. Active count plus 1 was 1 here. And we get active sensors too. Okay, what happened in here? So basically it's saying for every dictionary in this list of dictionary, if in the dictionary the value of active is equal to true, so we have the key active and value true in here. So if in this dictionary that you are iterating at the moment, there is 3 different dictionaries, you will iterate 3 times, right? So for this dictionary that you are iterating, for this dictionary that you are iterating at this moment, if the value of active is equal to true, then the variable active count is gonna be the same variable active count, but whatever the value is whatever value is, if it's in active count, is gonna be plus 1. So whatever value it already has, plus 1. So that's why it's a 2, because it go, okay, for the first iteration, for dictionary in this list of dictionary, if the dictionary that you're iterating at the moment, the value of active is equal to 2, okay, I'm iterating the first one, the value of active is equal to 2. Then I go to the indentation. What do you want me to do? You want me to do that this variable is gonna be the same as the variable, but whatever value is in here, you just add 1. Okay, so in this case, I'm gonna add 1. Then I finish, and I'm gonna start to iterate in the second line, and the second dictionary, it also have the same. The value of active is true. So I'm gonna add another one. So it say, okay, in this case there was one already. 1 plus 1 is 2. Okay, I finished. I'm gonna iterate, start the iteration of the third one, and it say, in this case the value of active is false. So this condition is not true, it's not gonna be done. So I'm not gonna enter in the indentation. I'm just gonna go outside of the program because there is nothing else to iterate. And then you just find this line, and then it prints. And when it prints this one, which is the variable, it's not gonna print 0, right? Because the code has been done, and we saw that this is gonna iterate 2 times, and it's gonna iterate 3 times. But 2 of these 3 times they were true, the condition, so it was adding a counter. 1 plus 1 is 2. So when the time comes to print this line, this variable has already the value of 2. The same as we also see in different videos, but now we're making it with the dictionaries. Okay, we can also see the functions. Let's make a function. Let's say function are the same. Definition of a function, same as we checked also. So we can say definition is check battery, and in check battery I'm gonna give you just one parameter, which is gonna be system. You remember the definition comes with parameter, and this parameter later will give an argument, and this is how it operates, right? Parameters and arguments. So okay, give one parameter, and now we can say if system, if in the parameter that you will give me there is a key called battery, and the value of this key called battery is less than 30, I want to return low battery. Now go to the same condition else, because we are still working in the function, right? If I wrote, for example, now in here, it's gonna be already out of the function, but we still want to keep making code in the function, so we don't do extra indentation in here, otherwise it will be part of the if. But in the same line, we just want 4 types of indentation from the definition, so it's still inside of the definition but not inside of the if. Let's say that I come here and I do the coding in here, then it doesn't belong to the function anymore. We add 4 tabs, but let's say that from here I start in here, then this belongs to the if still, and not to the function. It belongs to the function, but inside of the function belongs to the if, and we want to right now it's the same level as the if. So if the condition in the if cannot be done, we have another chance to retrieve something different. So in this case we can say else, and in else we can say just return battery correct. Okay, now we have to create an argument, but to create an argument we're going to create a dictionary, and the dictionary is going to be should, which is going to be a dictionary, and we're going to have the key, because we put this key here, so we need to create data that will make sense, right? So for key battery we'll store the value of 85, and for the key of temperature we'll store the value of 36.5. Okay, now we are ready to call the function. So let's create a variable which is going to be called result, and in the variable result we're gonna make the function. We're gonna put like check battery, which is the function. We're gonna add the argument of the dictionary, which is should, right? So basically, what are we doing here? We just create a dictionary which is called should. We also we had created a function which is called check battery. So now we are creating a variable, and inside of the variable we are calling the function, and as an argument to the parameter we are adding the values that are inside of this dictionary, which is the argument. Okay, our argument for this parameter is a dictionary, and whatever data is inside of the dictionary will operate the function with the parameter that we just give as an argument. So if we print this, nothing's gonna happen because we didn't print. So we have to print, in this case, result, which is the variable that contains everything. We got battery correct. Why we got battery correct? Let's have a look on it. We have a dictionary called should. Battery 85 and temperature 36.5. What is this doing? The function is saying, okay, I'm gonna create a function called check battery with a parameter called system. If the parameter, it will be an argument later, so we can say here already if should, because this is already should, right? This is the parameter, and this is the argument that we give to the parameter. So now Python is not reading this when you put this in here, and Python go back to whatever line is the function. Now it doesn't read system anymore, because now it's using our argument as a parameter. So now this is more like check battery should. If should, the key battery, the value, if in should the value of the key battery is less than 30, it's 85. It's not less than 30. If it's less than 30, it's safe. I don't know what you want me to do, but it's not less than 30, so I'm not gonna read this line because it's not, the condition cannot be done. It's a, but what else what you want me to do if this condition cannot be done else? And it's a else return battery correct, and we got battery correct. Let's say that in here we put 25 is less than 30. So in this case, now this condition is gonna be true. If we print, we get low battery. Now it say, okay, if in should the value of the key battery is less than 30, in this case 25, then okay, this condition is done. So Python enter the indentation and say return low battery. Now it's giving low battery, but why return? We explained it in the video before. Why return and not print? Because whenever you call the function, it's gonna return the result, the final result. Okay, if you don't put the return in here, the condition is done and everything will be done, but then it will not print anything. It will put like maybe non-type because there is nothing to retrieve. So that's why we are making an operation, let's say, and then we want to return the whatever if the condition is not done. Okay. We also have seen that with different things. We saw this with the list. What else can we do? Function that will receive a list of dictionaries. So we watch that. Is basically what we just saw before, but with the function. What we can do, let's say count active sensors, and then on this function we are gonna give one parameter called sensors. Okay, and then we can say inside of the function we're gonna add a variable called active count. We are still inside of the function. Active count is gonna start from 0. Then still everything will be done inside of the function. We can make a for loop and say for sensor in sensors if sensor active, there will be a key called active with a value, and this value will be equal to true. And then our variable that we created, active count, is gonna be active count plus 1, the same that we see, right? And now inside of the function, but not inside the if, inside of the function, we say return active count, which is the variable that we want to look up. Okay. And now in order to get done, we have to create the list of dictionary. Okay, in this case it's gonna be sensors. Sensors is gonna be a list, and inside of the list we have dictionary. I'm gonna copy dictionaries if I can copy it from here, so we don't have to write it. Okay. No, but this is not the same. Let's make it. So we done. Okay, let's put name. And the name, we have the value of camera. We can active, and the key active is gonna have the value of true. Okay, close it, and we gonna create another dictionary. We're gonna do the same, another key called name, and name will have the value of motion sensors. Let's do a different one. Active again is gonna be true. So key active with the value of true. And now we do the same. Create again the key name, and then just give distance sensors, and we create another active key. I don't know why it is showing like that. Okay, this is okay. So we have a name, and then it's called distance sensors. Okay, okay. Now we create another key, active. I don't know why it was not showing up. And this will be, it was true, now we make it false. Okay, and that's it. Now we can put here print count active, sensors. Okay, it's two of them. Okay, basically the same as we did before, right? We have a definition with a parameter, and we created here everything what we want to do, and then we created a list of dictionaries, right, called sensors. So here, let me check here, active, yeah. That is wrong because we are not calling the function. The function is called sensors here. Okay, now we are calling the function, and inside of the function we are giving the argument as sensor, as a parameter. Okay, so in this case it is called the same, but it could be different as we saw before. Okay, so we have a function with a parameter. We created a list of dictionaries, and now we are calling the function, and we are assigning the argument of this list of dictionaries as an argument, and we print it. And now it retrieves just 2. Why just 2? Okay, let's go for it. So we have a function with one parameter, and we created a variable starting from 0, a counting variable, a counter. And then we say, for every dictionary in the parameter that it will give me, so in this case for every dictionary in this list, if the dictionary has a key value, a key active, and the value of active is equal to true, then I want this variable, which is this one in here, active count, be exactly the same one, but whatever value it contains, you add 1. So it does the same 3 times. Remember, it will iterate 3 times, one for this one, another for this one, and a third time for this one. And the value of active is true only in the first line and in the second line, but not in the third line. That's why it will count 2 times. And when we print this, it prints 2. What else can we say? There is a mini project in here, but 1 hour 17 minutes of video, like 120. I think that's enough. More or less we got the things that we can do with the dictionaries, and we have already here variables, tuples, sets, loops, lists, functions, dictionaries, and databases. So I think we covered the basic of Python. Yeah, I think we're gonna stop it in here, and next video we will end this basic course with a project. So in the next video we're gonna make a project with everything that we have seen so far, and then we can start with the next material.